This is why it is impossible for you to die. The reality that we experience isn't real. Only 35/10,000ths of the percentage of light is visible to the human eye. We see in 3 dimensions of color. Birds have an additional cone on their retina, which means that they see in 4 dimensions of color. And we can only perceive sounds within a certain frequency range. So relative to existence and even animals, our senses literally blind us from perceiving reality in its entirety. The world you see and hear is a controlled hallucination that exists inside your mind generated by your brain. Reality is the result of human consciousness interfacing with the quantum levels of existence, which are pure waves of energy. Physical doesn't exist. We and all other material are made of empty space. And it's your observation and awareness of it that allow it to exist. So not only is life an illusion, self is an illusion. The you that you think is watching this video doesn't exist. Anatta in Buddhism is a doctrine that says in humans there is no permanent or underlying substance that can be called the soul. Your conscious moods, thoughts, emotions, and impulses that initiate behavior. You are the product of a multitude of psychological processes happening over your whole brain. Neuroanatomically, there's no structure in your brain that contains your ego. We are constantly changing systems. You literally aren't the same person you were when you started watching this video. So because reality isn't real and neither is self, death is only a concept created by the ego. We can't die because there's no you to die. There's no reality to die in and exit from. Through perception, we bring all of this into existence now. So the question isn't what happens when you die. It's what is it like to experience consciousness without the illusion of separation. You imagined yourself into existence, and living backwards might be the reason you're sad. You're only conscious of 0.5 to 5% of your mind. Now your subconscious mind, which you don't see, controls all the systems in your body. It's the intelligent field that created your body from a single fertilized cell. When I say intelligent field, I mean the matrix. Are you with me? This shit is not real. I'm gonna keep saying it. Just like how reality has an underlying code, you do too, and that's what you are. You are the code, not the body, not the mind. You are that consciousness. What happens is, right, all the possibilities for your life exist inside that code, and your code creates the body and your eyes to experience itself through. 90 to 95% of your life is generated by you. Time is an illusion. It's not linear. It is simultaneous. Everything, including the past, present, and future, are all happening right now. Past lives are actually parallel lives. Time is a man-made 3D construct. In higher dimensions, there's no such thing as time because we experience everything happening simultaneously in the now as one. People have commented, I feel disassociated and my life is flying by. This is why. Every day your brain processes 70,000 thoughts. Every thought causes a chemical reaction to go off in your body, which then triggers an emotion. Thoughts and emotions influence your behavior. Thoughts, emotions, and behavior create your fucking life. 95% of them 70,000 thoughts are on constant repeat. Meditate and listen to your thoughts. Sit down, meditate for hours, and let your mind speak to you. That's how you see what your subconscious mind has to say. Pay attention to each thought and see if your thought is related to either the past or the future. Most of the shit in your subconscious mind is you dwelling on past situations or you imagining future situations based on your past situations. So that's why you're only 5% aware of your life. You feel stuck, you feel like you can't change, you feel like you need help. Because you're not aware of yourself, you don't know what's actually going on behind the scenes. You walk around thinking shit just happens and you react to the circumstances in your life instead of realizing you fucking create them by your consciousness. The world and all within it is man's conditioned consciousness objectified. Consciousness is the cause as well as the substance of the world. Everything in existence is made of your consciousness, and it's influenced by your consciousness. If I asked you, hey, what would happen if I sat down and just watched movies nonstop? Like for years, just watching movie after movie, never stopping. You'd be like, bro, you're going to lose your fucking mind. That's life. You have to give yourself a break from it through meditation because all you're doing is running the same record through your head over and over and over again. Most of you is in the past or future, and they're both imaginary. This is why understanding you don't exist and nothing is real makes you God. Time is not real. Let's break down the mental and physical aspects of it. Time, past, present, and future, they are all properties of consciousness. With the past being recollection, the future being anticipation, and now being the present moment. Time is the movement of your thoughts. There's no such thing as a universal clock. This scene in the movie Interstellar shows us how time dilation works. They landed on a planet where the gravitational pull was so strong that every hour they spent there was equivalent to 7 years on Earth. These are photons, this is light. The holographic matrix is inside a light. Your eyes absorb it, and the mind projects the world. If light could be a person, any clock you looked at would never move. Light does not experience time. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to wake you up. Reality is an illusion. This shit is all a dream. Using the interpretation of quantum physics, all matter in the universe is made of atoms. These atoms are made of 99.9999999% empty space. So with that being a fact, you have to question why reality feels so solid. This is because of the basic law of electrostatics. It's this repulsive magnetic force that makes reality feel real and stops your body from collapsing in on itself. And the atoms are made of energy that behave as particles and waves, meaning that particle me is here now, but the wave version of me doesn't exist as a localized point in space and time. The particles and energy that make up my body exist everywhere in a state of infinite potential. The dust I was before humans and Earth existed, me right now and every other stage of my life, and the pure energy I'm going to turn back into. It exists across the universe as possibility until I open my eyes and turn it into this observable situation, this moment. Let's get on some Matrix shit. This is video game coding. This is information. This is a bunch of shit you don't understand. That's reality, a bunch of energy, information, and potential. Shit we can't understand. We can still play the game because even though this is the game, this is what we see, understand, and operate in. You are the entire universe, but at the same time, the entire universe creates your mind. And it's your mind that you view the universe through. And because you're viewing it through your mind and not as it actually is, you're dreaming. This is an illusion, right? This is the true reality. Emptiness. Your mind creates space and time. Reality is energy, information, possibility, potential. It's not a solid physical thing. Everything, all of us are connected. Everything is one big giant consciousness, an infinite mind. I'm this eyeball, you're that eyeball. We're all just little pieces of it. But the entirety of it is you. You just don't know that. None of the words I'm using to talk to you right now actually mean anything. These are random vibrations that you're assigning concepts and labels to understand me. What I'm trying to say is our existence is a trip, and your faith in God. It doesn't have to be rooted in mythology, and you don't have to have blind faith in some deity outside of you. Through understanding science and psychology, you can dismantle your entire perception of reality and see what's left there when you do that. You are pure consciousness. You are everything in the form of you. Once you do that, you can finally detach from life and detach from yourself. That's the recipe. Once you transcend, all of the power is yours. I'm going to show you how to use it. This is why breathing is an ultimate key to manifestation. Everything in the universe is made of energy. Solid matter is an illusion. Everything is energy vibrating at a different frequency. Your vibration existed before your body and mind. It's what created you and all the events in your life. Your aura, the energy radiating from your consciousness, your body's electromagnetic field. This is the subtle energy that creates your reality. Your thoughts, words, and actions, they're all energy. You create manifestations through thoughts, words, and actions that use energy to form objects, conditions, and experiences. Thought and emotion create your inner state of being. The heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain does to the heart. And these signals have a significant effect on brain function. It influences emotional processing, as well as higher cognitive functions such as perception, memory, and problem solving. Generating coherence in your heart rhythm through maintaining a positive emotion, not only does it benefit the body, but it profoundly changes the way that you think, feel, and perform. Generating that positive emotion moves your mind and body into a scientifically measurable state called psychophysiological coherence, characterized by increased order in your mental, emotional, and physical processes. When you experience coherence, a different number of bodily systems synchronize to the rhythm of the heart, which then leads to an increased synchronization of the activity between the heart and brain. To manifest whatever it is you desire, send the universe clear intentions from an elevated emotional state. The body generates two electromagnetic fields, our brain does and our heart does. The human electromagnetic field reaches about 3 feet outside of you. When you elevate your emotional state, you broaden the range of this field. That field is your whole reality. Instead of being matter trying to change matter, you become consciousness. The energy that makes up your life will form to the desires of your consciousness. Breathing patterns modulate the heart's rhythm. You can generate a coherent heart rhythm by breathing slowly and regularly at a 10-second rhythm. Take a deep breath, breathe 5 seconds in, then exhale all of the air out of you for 5 seconds. Whatever you want to manifest is not important. Fuck the results. Most important thing you can do is maintain positive emotions in present moment awareness. Your consciousness is going to work like a compass. As long as you're happy and in alignment, whatever you do is going to take you towards your manifestation. If you want a one-on-one talk, you need guidance when it comes to meditation and spirituality. If you want resources and like-minded individuals to share them with, hit the link in my bio, follow me on Instagram, and come join the gang on Discord. 2023 is about alignment and enlightenment. Love to you. This is how dying will show you it's impossible to die. Consciousness takes on the form of everything in existence. Eventually, conscious forms reach such a level of complexity that consciousness loses itself in the disguise, aka the modern-day human being. Your consciousness only knows itself as form, which is why you're afraid of losing your psychological or physical sense of self, aka death. That is the ego, believing you are an individual separate entity in existence, and it's not real. Think about the universe like this. It is one infinite conscious entity, and an individual human being is one eyeball on this picture. Consciousness is everywhere, observing all things, and you are one focal point. Your life is a thought in the mind of God. This is all one being, but what humans do because of the ego, once you create a separate identity for a form, you forget that its consciousness is God essence expressing itself in form. And you won't realize that until you find the God consciousness within you. In the state of pure consciousness, you are much more alert and much more aware than you are in your mind-identified state. You become fully present, and this raises the vibrational frequency of the energy field that gives life to your body. Now, when you get to the dimension of no mind, you feel your own presence, your own consciousness with such joy that emotions, thoughts, your memories about your life, the external world, everything becomes insignificant relevant to that. There's no name, no personality, no memories, no thought at all. An experience like this changes your internal reference point. The first time in the years you've been living your life, you realize you're not your body, you're not your mind, you're not your thoughts. That is the death of the false self. You only think you have a body because you believe in death. We can only see 35/10,000ths of the light spectrum. Also remember, the ego is an illusion. Because our senses are limiting what we can perceive. Because the ego mechanism is forcing us to perceive ourselves as a separate fragmented entity from the rest of reality when we're not. When you look in the mirror, you see a body. Only because your consciousness believes you are an individual. As above, so below. If I'm an individual in my mind, I have to be it in my reality. You don't see the world. It's a manifestation of your conditioned consciousness. Body and death are a part of the same illusion. You can't die because you don't have a body, because there's no world that you're in. Like it's all your mind, Cuddy. Now keep in mind, we are humans, so we must stay practical. Take care of your body, respect it, and understand this is a manifestation of what you are. This is not me. This is only 0.0035% of me. The body is the doorway to my true nature. Whatever we perceive is a symbol. It's like an image in a dream. It's how your consciousness makes sense of the molecular energy dance of the universe. There is no objective reality. It's just a field of possibility. Remember, every being is simply a focal point of consciousness, and every focal point creates its own world. There are beings whose consciousness frequency is so different from ours that we're not even aware of each other's existence. I've taken some trips and laid down. As my mind expanded, so did reality. Watched it melt down and break open, and I became one with this geometric, kaleidoscopic, colorful energy. If you enjoyed the video and you want more content, hit the link in my bio and join the Discord. It's only $2 for my next 100 members. This is why any spiritual leader will tell you, in order to become one with God, in order for the vessel to be enlightened and embody higher consciousness, you have to release attachment to worldly desires. Most of your problems are illusions. 5 to 10% of the pain you felt in your life has been physical. The other 90 to 95% is thought and emotional energy being created by an unconscious mind. And the Buddha says desire is the root of all that suffering. Money, food, relationships, experiences, people, fame, accolades, and accomplishments. None of these things is going to bring your soul peace. You're not a mindless animal. You are the supreme, the all of creation, in the form of the most intelligent animal on the earth plane. Your incarnation has a purpose. So if you don't consciously raise your level of awareness, you're going to overindulge in sensual pleasures, and it's going to leave you spiritually obese. This is going to block the expansion of your consciousness, which as a human being is the only thing you really want. With a blocked consciousness seeking fulfillment in the form of material and sensual pleasures, you're always going to be chasing shit. This is from a Hindu article. Spiritual practice should begin with a dislike for worldly matters. In the Bible, do not love the world or things in the world. Do not love the world or things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. We've gone over it theologically. Now let's break down this philosophy scientifically. This molecule right here is a neurotransmitter called dopamine. The dopamine system exists in all animals. Natural selection gave us this system so that whenever we took an action that was likely to help us pass our genes down into the next generation, it felt pleasurable and rewarding. And that rewarding feeling reinforces the action. If you can't give up your earthly attachments in a way, becoming an addict of some sort is inevitable. This is why giving it up is important. Substances, gambling, video games, social media, binge watching TV, eating, spending money, all the things that you like spike dopamine. And your brain being oversaturated with dopamine is incredibly harmful. The purpose of life is not happiness. Emotions are fleeting. Nobody's happy all the time. Inner peace is what you're after. When you sit still and when you lay down, nothing is bothering you. That's the life human beings want. That kind of life brings happiness. But when you live your life through a routine of unconscious programs, which is everything that you like, the foods that you like, all the shows that you watch, when you follow your patterns, when you follow your urges, life in its entirety is going to become mundane. Dopamine is not happiness. It's a fleeting momentary sense of reward. Let me give you an example. If I had never eaten a cheeseburger before, First time I eat one, my brain is going to give me a huge dose of dopamine. So now that my brain knows it likes cheeseburgers, ever I think about getting a cheeseburger, I'm going to feel dopamine. I'm going to feel motivated and rewarded to go do that. But once I eat it, the amount of dopamine that my brain releases is going to be less. It's the anticipation of the pleasure, not the pleasure itself. That causes an unsatisfied feeling. That's why people go through life. I want more, I want more, I want more. Once that becomes who you are, you start living life on what's called the hedonic treadmill. You see something you want and then perceive happiness as chasing after that. You acquire and experience whatever your desire was, but at best it is short-lived. You always return to the set point. Keep in mind, right? After you do something for the first time, the anticipation of it happening again becomes more rewarding to you than the thing itself. And this is why intoxicants are so addictive. It's just poisonous dopamine. Have you ever seen a movie of some old rich dude on his deathbed? He's dreading the fact that he spent his whole life chasing money and material shit. We've seen this concept be represented in movies over and over and over again. So how do you give up your desires? Well, you can't, because you don't exist. Follow to hear me elaborate on that paradox. You imagined yourself into existence, and living backwards might be the reason you're sad. You're only conscious of 0.5 to 5% of your mind. Now your subconscious mind, what you don't see, controls all the systems in your body. It's the intelligent field that created your body from a single fertilized cell. When I say intelligent field, I mean the matrix. Are you with me? This shit is not real. I'm gonna keep saying it. Just like how reality has an underlying code, you do too, and that's what you are. You are the code, not the body, not the mind. You are that consciousness. What happens is, right, all the possibilities for your life exist inside that code, and your code creates the body and your eyes to experience itself through. 90 to 95% of your life is generated by you. Time is an illusion. It's not linear. It is simultaneous. Everything, including the past, present, and future, are all happening right now. Past lives are actually parallel lives. Time is a man-made 3D construct. In higher dimensions, there's no such thing as time because we experience everything happening simultaneously in the now as one. People have commented, I feel disassociated and my life is flying by. This is why. Every day your brain processes 70,000 thoughts. Every thought causes a chemical reaction to go off in your body, which then triggers an emotion. Thoughts and emotions influence your behavior. Thoughts, emotions, and behavior create your fucking life. 95% of them 70,000 thoughts are on constant repeat. Meditate and listen to your thoughts. Sit down, meditate for hours, and let your mind speak to you. That's how you see what your subconscious mind has to say. Pay attention to each thought and see if your thought is related to either the past or the future. Most of the shit in your subconscious mind is you dwelling on past situations or you imagining future situations based on your past situations. So that's why you're only 5% aware of your life. You feel stuck, you feel like you can't change, you feel like you need help. Because you're not aware of yourself, you don't know what's actually going on behind the scenes. You walk around thinking shit just happens and you react to the circumstances in your life instead of realizing you fucking create them by your consciousness. The world and all within it is man's conditioned consciousness objectified. Consciousness is the cause as well as the substance of the world. Everything in existence is made of your consciousness, and it's influenced by your consciousness. If I asked you, hey, what would happen if I sat down and just watched movies nonstop, like for years, just watching movie after movie, never stopping? You'd be like, bro, you're gonna lose your fucking mind. That's life. You have to give yourself a break from it through meditation because all you're doing is running the same record through your head over and over and over again. Most of you is in the past or future, and they're both imaginary. Everything